Let's take you to our top story now. The sentencing of convicted murderer Ntuthuko Shoba has been postponed to the 28th of July. Shoba appeared briefly at the Johannesburg High Court. He was found guilty of masterminding the murder of his pregnant girlfriend in June of 2020. ENCA's Slindelo Masigane has been following that story for us, and she joins us now live. Slee, just explain to us why the postponement today.
Well, we understand that pre-sentencing reports are not complete, and that is really the crux of the matter here. And for those for sentencing proceedings to go ahead, those reports must have made their way to the judge, and so we have a 2-month postponement in the matter. We are outside the High Court, where we are seeing, of course, that there is an address by the family to the supporters who have come out here. I'm going to try just get a little bit closer so you can hear what the family has to say with regards to the postponement.
I take this opportunity to thank everyone who's been with our family through thick and thin. All the messages of support that we've been receiving, we thank you. I mean, without you, we don't think our family would have drawn this strength. Amandla! Amandla! Matimba! Thank you very much.
All right, that is Dumisanga Take there, Maseko, who was just addressing some of the supporters who have come out here. We had activists as well as the economic freedom fighters who came to support the family. We know, of course, it's been a long 2 years for the family, and at this point, they're just going to have to wait a little bit longer to be able to find out exactly whether the court will be deviating Maseko from the prescribed minimum sentence of life imprisonment. We know, of course, that Ntuthuko Shoba was found guilty of premeditated murder as the mastermind behind Pule's death, and the minimum sentence for that is life imprisonment. I'm going to ask Shahid to just pan to my right. There is a picture there that you can see of Tshegofatso Pule. We're just going to move a little bit closer. Of course, supporters who have come out here are showing images of Tshegofatso. You know, she was described by her family as somebody who loves life, and for them, her death was quite a tragedy. We know from some of the court proceedings earlier on that the child that she was carrying of Ntuthuko Shoba's was actually not the first, and the family feels robbed not only of her life but the life of 2 possible children.
And Slee, just tell me quickly, just for the benefit of the viewer as well, the pre-sentencing report, exactly what would be in that report? Does it include also, for instance, your mitigation and aggravation of sentence, statements from the family about how this has affected them?
That's exactly it. So we're expecting a victim impact report. We're expecting a report from the probation officer. We're expecting statements possibly coming from family members from the Shoba family, of course, as well as the Pule family in terms of how this has affected them. And that is why these reports are so important, especially when somebody is found guilty of murder and premeditated murder. We're going to have to hear exceptional circumstances as to why the court should actually be deviating from that prescribed minimum sentence of life imprisonment. When we spoke to Pule's uncle earlier on, he was saying to us, because he's a lawyer himself, that throughout this entire process, Shoba has not even shown an ounce of remorse. So it would be quite interesting if the court had actually deviated from that. But we also spoke to the NPA a little earlier on, Maseko. Let's take a listen to what Pindim Jonandwane had to say with regards to this postponement.
Case against Ntuthuko Shoba was set down for pre-sentencing proceedings. Unfortunately, we could not proceed as the accused opted to have his own private probation officer, and therefore that report is not yet ready. But as the state, we are ready to proceed. unfortunately, the accused had to be provided with the opportunity to prepare a report in mitigation of sentence, hence the postponement of the matter to the 28th of July 2022.
All right, Lisa, we caught the tail end of Tshegofatso Pule's uncle's address to those who are supporting them outside. I'm wondering how the family feels about this postponement. It's almost 2 months.
It's disappointing for them, but they believe, of course, that it's necessary. We don't want a situation, especially for the Pule family where they're involved, to have, the miscarriage of justice, to have the possibility of Shoba being able to appeal due to processes not being followed correctly. So they're saying that they're willing to wait, they're willing to be patient with this process. They've already gotten a conviction, a guilty verdict, which they say vindicates them and justifies their belief that Shoba was always responsible for Pule's death. But let's take a listen once more to Tshegofatso, Tshegofatso's uncle.
I would have loved to know the reasons why the pre-sentencing report could not be concluded. But at the same time, I think in the interest of fairness, we just have to allow. We can all sit here moan and groan about what happened today in court, but the fact is the matter has been postponed. Again, we see a process whereby our family is being denied a chance of closure.
All right, Slindela Masigane outside the High Court in Johannesburg. With that update, let's leave it there for now.